Darrell, first of all, just wanted to just talk to you about some of the support you've had the recent weeks, the home fans who've been here, but also 400 going to Plymouth away, another fairly long away trip in horrible weather tomorrow as well. Just talk to us about what that's meant to you and the team over the past few games to have that level of support.
No, it's amazing. There's an amazing bond with the course of the supporters to the team, to be honest with you, and there's a togetherness about the whole club, and when you get that support travelling on a Friday night to Plymouth away, and not just sitting there as well, by the way, backing the boys, singing louder than the home, and the support we've had over a sustained period of time now has been outstanding. It's very much appreciated from myself and the players.
Do you think they kind of like the values that you've instilled in this team and what they display when they're out on the pitch as well?
Yeah, well, that's got to be our consistent DNA. It's got to be how we go about games. We know we're not going to win every game. We're realistic in that, but it doesn't mean we can't try and go and win every game, and make sure that we're giving absolutely everything as a minimal. And then we want the quality to shine through that we know we're capable of and have been capable of at times this season.
I know we discussed it briefly after the game, but I think that was 2 back-to-back league wins for the first time this year. How do you feel that shows the development of the team and where they're going at the moment?
Shows that we've won 2 games on the spin, Phil, that's all it is, and 2 different but good performances against 2 big football clubs. So we're really pleased with that, obviously, but we've had a consistency of working the way we work that they've gone. We don't look at past results, we look at the next game, and the next game is the most important one, because that's the way football works, and we don't get carried away, we don't get above ourselves. We know the work that we need to do. There's a lot of hard work need to be done, and you never crack the game. So for me, it's about staying level-headed, my players staying level-headed, and trying to keep improved performances.
That said, you've given yourself a really good platform to go into Christmas in the second half of the season by what you've done in the first half.
We give ourselves a really good platform to go and win the next game. That's it. That's where we look. That's for everybody else to enjoy that and look forward and look at the table and look at all those bits and pieces that go add to it. But we have a way of working, and we're going to keep that consistent way.
How do you feel that maybe the team has changed, not just in terms of shape and tactics and everything, but in terms of how the group has come together, much like they did last year by this stage?
Yeah, I think what you have to do when you go up a level, and obviously the levels you go up, the better the opposition, and you're asking then your players to rise to those levels and do things that not only that they're good at, but what they're not good at. I use Mel Benning as an example, who I thought's defended very, very well. Hasn't been one of his main strengths, been good going forward, but Mel's added that to his game. He's been ultra consistent when he's played, and there's a lot of players I could mention that have reached levels, but don't let that be the ceiling. That's key. I said that to the boys at half time against Plymouth. Is you never know what your ceiling is. Keep trying to improve everything about it, and not just on match day and on your daily lives and the way you train, the way you eat, the way you prepare, the way you absorb information. Just keep trying to improve, and that's always the message to our players.
Does it please you, the response you've had when you have asked that of the players?
Yeah, it does. Listen, I'm really pleased where we are at the minute as a football club. There's a real vibe. There's a real togetherness about the place. Not just this week, but been for a numerous period of times. I love my job. I enjoy getting up to work. My boys make me get out of bed, if I'm honest with you, because of what they give us and what they give the club. So we want to keep continuing to do that.
You seem really close to the players as well, and over the last 18 months, have you kind of, don't want to say grown into that role, but have you now kind of, really enjoyed being the head of that group that keeps changing and keeps moving along? And what's been your kind of best part of the job?
Well, when I've managed players, I manage like my boys, and I want to be. So sometimes I have to be cruel to be kind. Sometimes it's harsh lessons. Sometimes it's cuddles, or whatever way you want to look at it. But for me, it's about getting the best out of them. It's not for me. It's for them, and the way I like to manage that is by being brutally honest, but in a way that gives them the chance to go and express themselves and to enjoy the football, because there is a lot of pressure on footballers. There's a lot of pressure on lower league footballers when contracts are up and they I understand that. I've been in I've been in the change rooms, and I've been that guy. I don't distance myself too far from the change rooms, and all I ever ask for the boys is that they keep on giving me maximum effort in matches and in training, and we'll get them better.
Has that changed a lot from when you were playing as well? All the pressures and things that are on the players these days.
Yeah, I think it has. It's increased tenfold with social media, but that's the way of the world. We have to adapt. Players have to adapt to that, and they have to make themselves stronger. Players still, for me, are in a fortunate position. They're pro footballers, and they've got to make the most out of their careers, and I want to keep pushing them.
You go to Bristol Rovers, a club you know, of course, very, very well, and perhaps have not got as many points as they would have liked this year, but the games between the two of you last year were real good, kind of full-on affairs, weren't you? Are you anticipating a similar thing this year?
Yeah, I am. I think it'll be a good game to watch. Hopefully I don't kill that by saying that, but two good teams having a go at each other. The league's competitive. They've had some great run of form, like ourselves. One or two hiccups, little hiccup in the FA Cup, but other than that, their own form's been very, very consistent, and they've got different ways of playing, so we expect a real good challenge. Thank you.
Darrell, obviously you have to be very single-minded, don't you, in your job, but you can't let sentiment come into it, and that's one of the strengths you've got, isn't it?
Yeah, no, sentiment doesn't come into it, but explaining and managing the way I do does. So I like to be able to explain to players, to teams, to media, everything about why I make the decisions, because I'm comfortable in doing that, because I believe I make the right decisions for that specific game, and I don't always get that right, obviously, but I continue to try and do it right.
And that's part of your DNA, isn't it? The way you've moved forward in your career, both as a player and a manager.
Yeah, it is. It's like I said, keep that consistency way of working and adapt when I need to adapt.
And you won't look at the last two games, you've already alluded to that, the history, aren't they? Is that part and being what we have here at the moment then, Darrell, and the way you move this club forward?
Yeah, I think you have to. I mean, we got beat heavily at Oxford, didn't we? 4-0. We bounced back with a win. That's what you have to do. You bounce back after bad runs. You bounce back if a goal goes, you go behind in a game. The team's done that on a consistent thing, and it's those sort of mentalities about the group that I love managing this group for, because they don't give in. They keep fighting and scrapping, and yes, they can be a little bit short on ability at times, but when they're giving you that every day and every match, it makes you proud to manage them.
But you go into this game with momentum in more ways than one, Darrell, so that's got to be a plus, hasn't it?
Listen, I think players should gain confidence from previous results. I think they should gain massive confidence from that, but I also think that every game's different and they need to reset, and you don't play last game, because confidence is good, but overconfidence is not. If you ever think you've cracked the game of football, you're mistaken. Players are very, very much mistaken. You have to teach, I know it's an old cliche, every game as though it's your last, and prepare for that as well.
The man in the opposite dugout will be very similar to yourself, because he does have that style, doesn't he, Joey? He'll have his team fired up, and he'll be wanting to win it, Darrell, won't he?
Yeah, definitely. Joey had a fantastic career, and he's doing very well as a manager, and a lot of people have opinions on Joey, but I take people how I find him. I've always gone well with Joey, and he's doing a cracking job there.